Slave morality, the morality of resentment, says, "Blessed are the poor, the meek, the sick, the powerless." This is the good of slave morality, and its opposite is not the bad, but a new concept, the evil. And what is evil? Well, everything that master morality says is good. Power, wealth, conquest, sexual satisfaction.
Ugh.
He's talking about Christianity here. He's not talking about Judaism. But Frederick thinks of Christianity as the spiritual revenge of the Jews against the Romans, an inversion of the empire's values. But he also thinks that slave morality is fundamentally dishonest. It's like the fox and the grapes. Not being able to take revenge is called not wanting to take revenge. It might even be called forgiveness. Slave morality says that weakness is righteous. Submission to people you hate is called
This is Christianity.
Having to wait is called patience.
You transform an inability into
chastity,
virtuous will.
And while master morality is born of saying yes to yourself as a powerful,
Okay,
noble beast of prey,
let's
slave morality is born of
get
saying
back to
no
Montreal
the
by
master
night.
and everything he has that you
I will
can't.
put my 7 chakra peaceful healing meditation music. It's a bit too loud. I don't know, I kind of like it, and I think it kind of it gives the good mood, an easy good mood for Montreal by night. It's quite mysterious and vibey, and it kind of glows with the light behind me. Because you don't want to look at the light straight on. You don't want to be sun blind. You want to look in the shadows and discern all the aspects of the grey shit that surrounds you. Okay, Montreal by night. A birthday station. A late birthday station on November 22nd at 22nd o'clock. It's 10 p.m. Let's go back to Beatrice Langou. Beatrice Langou. L'engouement, Languine, Langout. Je sais pas, j'arrivais pas à trouver un autre truc qui pourrait faire du sens, même si les autres faisaient pas de sens. So, Beatrice, la crise de Beatrice. She was always regarded as an oddity in her, in her Saint Leonard parish. Wine doesn't help my throat. I can't talk in French about those things, sorry. I need to be shy. She was smarter and better read than most people, but an unmarried social outcast. She also received forbidden text from a secret benefactor. At first, she was shocked by these books. They spoke of mystical circles, European shadow empires, the secret genealogies of powerful families, and great conspiracies. Ooh, I think that would be Beatrice. Boobatrice. Boobarella. Sorry. What was I saying? All these bristled beneath her fingertips, and she quickly learned that there was far more to life than what she lived. She also realized that this knowledge came at a high price, but she was more than willing to pay it. Choices. Years later, Beatrice met her benefactor, Alfred Benezri. He had heard of her great mental acumen and thought a talent such as hers was too precious to waste on a mortal lifespan. My essays are not good. My verse, like I'm really not good with that. neither with my H's or my D's. Chris, what can I say? I can't even speak, and I expect people to understand me. Don't you get it? No, they don't, because they can't understand you, bitch. Okay, he watched, he watched her from afar, nurturing her yearning for knowledge and studying her carefully, trying to ascertain which clan would best suit her. Oh, okay, so he's not even gonna try to embrace himself, but he's gonna get someone else to embrace her. Ooh, strategic bitch. When he finally decided, he called in a boon from Kazim Malikar, a Kiazid ally. It was he who embraced her. Beatrice is currently the leading authority on Sabbath history and lore. She spends a majority of her time using her necromantic skills to question the dead about various vampire genealogies. Beatrice is also a lover to both Marie-Ange and Alfred Benezri. Ooh, throuple! Hello! Vampires are so fucking progressive for old cunts. Although her bisexuality has proven difficult for Alfred to understand, he still remains element of his conservative upbringing. Although Beatrice has noticed that Marie-Ange has drifted away from her of late, she has been able to determine the cause. Determine? Beatrice is a Kiazid beauty. Whether she acknowledged whether she acknowledges it or not. Her figure and limbs are slender and graceful. Oh, fuck my life. I had a few glasses of wine, so that doesn't help. Sorry. Well, wine or, whatever else. Her loose hair is a lustrous black and it hangs to her hips. Her ebony eyes are serene. I don't really like Cabernet Sauvignons. I don't know, it's not sour enough. I don't know. I don't know taste. That's why I was with someone for I'm joking. While calm and very gracious, you are slightly uncomfortable with the degree of violence inherent to Sabbath gathering, or perhaps more so with your growing acceptance of it. Always smile in a benign manner, but let no one mistake that for supplication. Okay. Unbeknownst to most, Beatrice is allied with an unseelie sluag named Rake. I would have put that comma after the apostrophe. What is an unseelie sluag? Am I even saying that right? She discovered Rake going through books in the Alexandrium. Rather than attacking him, she offered to give him a tour. He agreed, and the two discovered a similar interest in knowledge and subtle torture. Rake was also intrigued by Beatrice and uncanny resemblance to the sluag. I'm not just a regular slag, but a total slag. The two have exchanged information ever since. What the fuck is sluag? From Scott Gaelic? Oh, speech output isn't available for Scots Gaelic. Well, how am I supposed to know? Sluag, pronunciation, that's the one. Ooh, okay. Slug. Slug. Does Wikipedia has that? Give me the key. Slug? A crowd, like full, yeah. So in Irish and Scottish folklore, the slug, I don't know if I'm saying that right. So please correct me. Modern Irish spelling, slew, old crowd, were the spirit of the restless dead. Some consider the slug to also carry with them the souls of innocent people who were kidnapped by this destructive spirit. Well, there you go. So that's the images for slugs, but there's like many different kinds. So look at that, that's quite different as well. I like this one. Ooh, beautiful slug. She's not a slug, she's a total slug. There's some cool images. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Folklore Thursday. Well, there you go. I like folklore. It's the law of the folks. Okay, I think there's a note for her. During the dark cycle of her divine tide, Beatrice pursues educated women, seduces them, and uses dominate to replace their knowledge with memories of her. Ooh, Beatrice. You're such a slug. Okay, let's move on to Jacob the Glitch. Jacob is a frightening mouthpiece of an enigma. He was one of the last people ever to be put through a creation rites on the slopes of Montreal a century ago. Like all the others, he supposedly never survived. The only difference being that Jacob was one of Frère Marc's experiments carried through with the help of a Tremere anti-tribu ally. It was this ally who embraced Jacob, and he was found only recently wandering the sewers beneath Montreal. Ooh, a complete amnesiac who fed on rats. Ooh, the glitch. Like many unfortunate, forced to undergo the creation rites on the mountain, Jacob was claimed by mtlByNight. Unlike his predecessors, however, Jacob was blessed with Numina prior to his embrace, and this made him a worthy pawn for the demon. Okay, mtlByNight decided to turn Jacob into his tool, a sensory conduit to spy on the Kainites of the city, whipping Jacob's memories to prevent anyone from learning the Kainites' past. mtlByNight released Jacob into the city and cursed him with monthly episode of complete amnesia. Okay, preventing him from advancing along a path to a point where he could break free of the demon's control. Unknown to mtlByNight, the connection to Jacob also worked in reverse. Jacob became aware of the subconscious fears of his master. Jacob the Glitch, eh? Now in the care of the librarians, Jacob retains his memory for a single month before they vanish at the advent of the full moon. As he awakens on that evening, he begins rambling in English, Russian, Latin, Greek, and a multitude of other languages known to metatheacs. For the most part, Jacob is unintelligible, but there are moments of divine lucidity when he spouts off riddles, fragments of information, or kernels of knowledge pertaining to the demon sphere. After an hour, Jacob collapses and sleeps through to the next night. Upon awakening, he has forgotten who he is. The only thing he remembers are potent thaumaturgical rituals that no one can account for. The librarians keep Jacob in the Alexandrium to ensure that no one else can learn from him, and for fear of what others may want with him. During his dark cycle, Frère Marc often tortures Jacob. Though Jacob does not remember this abuse after the full moon, he subconsciously distrusts Frère Marc. The ritual that Jacob occasionally remembers are recorded by the librarians. The coven has been trying to contact the Tremorant tribu elder Goratrix for his insight on the situation, but he has yet to come to Montreal. For Goratrix, hurry up. A small and mouthy Afro-Caribbean, Jacob has a receding widow's peak and wears disheveled clothing. He always looks confused and befuddled. You are childlike. Everyone and everything around you is new and fascinating. You study things carefully and are not afraid to stare people in the eyes. Most Sabbath mistake this for a challenge, but you only do it in hopes of sparking memories. Jacob has no secrets, except for the odd ritual or two that inexplicably tucked away in the back of his mind. He is a tremor, a conformist, and a simpleton. Generation 7, wow, that's pretty good. Marie-Ange Gagnon. Originally a member of La Belle Mort, the Beautiful Death, a nomadic pack of European Simice, I never know if I said that right as well, but that's the way I say it, Marie-Ange occasionally traveled to Montreal, a city of birth, to confer with the newly established librarians. It was here that she met Beatrice Langou and began their intimate friendship. Members of La Belle Mort were recruiters for the Sabbath who traveled the globe in search of new bloodlines and clans. Since many of the kindred they encountered refused to join the Sabbath, the pack destroyed them, allowing Marie-Ange to drink their blood. This recruiting campaign took the pack into British-controlled portions of the Orient and into direct conflict with the local supernatural beings. During the Chinese Boxer Rebellion, Marie-Ange Pax was decimated, leaving her the sole survivor. With nowhere left to go, she returned to Montreal and was admitted into the librarians as the resident expert of Kainite and exotic vitae. In 1996, Marie-Ange began having visions of the Snake Pit, Montreal destroyed City Temple. Determined to uncover the significance behind her waking dreams, Marie-Ange explored the burned-out ruins of the temple and uncovered what appeared to be the unconscious body of the infernalist Sangri, who was supposedly destroyed in 1992. Marie-Ange hid the serpent in her heaven, hoping to unravel the mystery behind the miraculous survival, partial amnesia, and the strange quality of his vitae. Marie-Ange's Marie-Ange's mysterious guest is none other than the damned De Soto confused soul, which is trapped in Terence de Bouville's transformed body. Inspired by Sangri's memory, De Soto is turning Marie-Ange's t-shirt for t-shirts. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Thirst for knowledge into something darker. She has yet to trust him fully, but does have a growing fascination for the darkness surrounding the Sabbath circus. Marie-Ange's labs and adjoining race quarters have been declared off limits to everyone, supposedly to maintain the integrity of Marie-Ange's work, but in truth to hide our visitor. And her t-shirts. Marie-Ange is a beefy, rugged, black-haired woman who dresses in comfortable work attire. She uses vicissitude to bring her veins to the surface of her skin, making her look like a pulsating roadmap. Everybody is a walking Ziploc bag filled with blood. Basically, the art of skincraft does not interest you as greatly as Vitae itself. The awakening of your dark side has turned your fascination into something more brutal. Had you known Elizabeth Bathory, the two of you would have gotten along splendidly. Marie-Ange is being corrupted through her protection of the person she believes is Sangri. She is a visionary Simise with a demeanor autocrat. She is generation 10. Ooh, and she rests from generation 12 through Diablerie. She's nearly a thin blood, I believe. Molly 8. The one certainty in life is death, that is for sure. That was Ellen Collins' philosophy, an Irish immigrant who arrived in Montreal in 1848. Ellen watched as her friends, family and shipmates died from the typhus epidemic that claimed many potato famine refugees. Ellen wept over every corpse cast over the side of the ship and for those who died waiting within the Grosse Ile quarantine station. Grosse Ile, c'est ça? People never realized that she wasn't mourning the passing of friends and loved ones, but that she was touched by the beauty of death. She even refuted God, believing that his existence made the perfection of death itself. Good point. Ellen's view on death and religion brought her to the attention of the St. Patrick Basilica priests, who believed she had been horribly alienated during the typhus epidemic. She was admitted into Hôtel du Hospital. Preacher of Les Miserables took an immediate liking to Hélène and brought her to a creation rite. Béatrice Langou and Marie-Ange were also in attendance, both of whom instantly recognized the potential in the Syrian young woman. The two managed to convince Preacher to give them Hélène as a gift and embraced her as a Simise. Hélène emerged during the care of her stepmother Beatrice and her sire Marie-Ange and her godfather Preacher. All three did their best to train their child and broaden the understanding of the world, her understanding of the world. Because Hélène, now called Molly 8, believed that life is about constant change, she regularly sheds the outer layers of her skin and uses them as parchment for her writing. Moliate also uses her necromancy skills to speak to the dead and surpasses even Beatrice in the discipline's use. Molly is the official scribe of the librarians and in charge of creating new pages for the skin tomes. Moliate's heaven is covered from floor to ceiling with long, treated strips of human skin of various hues. I'm trying to put my H. These are her tapestries and pages. Every square inch of her skin is covered with graceful script and artwork. Moliate maintains a close relationship with her stepbrother's skin. Due to constant shedding, Moliate is porcelain-skinned, soft-featured, and without any blemishes. Her pale visage is framed by the traces of her deep red hair, which contrasts with her green eyes. Speak softly, there is no need to shout. Touch people when talking with them, you love the way their skin feels. Smile gently. You can kill in the blink of an eye, but life is beautiful and fleeting. Moliate knows Marie-Ange is hiding someone in her lair, but has done nothing about it for the time being. 26 minutes. Can I do Christianus? Lionel? Yes, I can. Born and raised in an academic family, Christianus was no stranger to knowledge or education. Latin and Greek were as familiar to him as English. By age 15, he was pursuing the philosophy program at Harvard University in the eyes of his parents. The gifted teen could do no wrong, at least until the Great War. Christianus enlisted to fight. His heroic valor and promotion to infantry officer, commander of the 3rd Company, 13th Battalion Royal Canadian Expeditionary Force, all fell upon the deaf ears of his parents, who disapproved of their son's actions. Christianus was ultimately struck down by fire at the Second Battle of Ypres and would have died had it not been discovered on the battlefield by Carrion Nosferatu. Arbitrarily feeding on and embracing, they cursed Christianus with the latter and left him to fend for himself in the no man's land. Christianus' embrace was a night of hellish elf memories, punctuated by constant shelling, poison gas clouds, feeding of the bodies of the dying, and simply trying to survive. The nightmare came to a climax near sunrise when Christianus was forced to seek sanctuary from the sun beneath the mountain of corpses that awaited mass burial. Beneath the shelter of carcasses, Christianus underwent an epiphany and dreamt of Cain. In a conversation with the first brother, Christianus was told to seek out the children of the second generation. Okay, when Christianus emerged, the next evening the Sabbath discovered him and inducted him into the fold. His thirst for knowledge focused on Cain, and his life revolved around discovering the meaning of his vision. Within 50 years, his fervent quests made him one of the most recognized authority in Cainite and pre-Sabbath genealogies. That was when he was invited to join the librarians. Christianus is brooding and silent. His eyes reflect a sharp intellect. No, not like me, huh? And his attire is always conservative. He exudes an acrid scent despite the use of obfuscate. He believes it is the lingering smell of the poison gas that saturated his body during the Second Battle of Ypres. Ignore people for the most part. They rarely have anything of interest to tell you. The only thing you respect is knowledge. Of all the librarians, only Beatrice is as well read as you, and for that you appreciate her company. He is a Nosferatu, anti-tribu, visionary, and curmudgeon. Curmudgeon? Level 7 as well, wow. From 11 to 7, that's a bit a bad-tempered person, especially an old one. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave Santiago de Soto in the form of Sangri the Serpent for the next time. I hope you enjoyed this session. I was not too dyslexic. Cheers to that. And I will leave it to you. I don't know what else. I did another sale today, so that's a nice birthday gift. Like I said, I'm really happy that it happened. It just shows some people think my little project is worth continuing and keep on developing. So that's great, and I think that's gonna push me to do all the other voices that I'm supposed to be doing, write more quests. I attended a talk about the psychological impact of video games on players. Like, don't make them go through traumatic episodes in the game that they don't want to be put in and stuff like that this morning. So that was pretty interesting. I'll have to keep that in mind because, of course, the stuff that I'm putting in my game is around philosophy and psychology and all that, and about trying to give some insights on how to deal with trauma. And like this nice lady was saying, you need experts and blah blah blah, but for now it's so basic and high level that I don't believe there's any emotional impact, because it's mainly just a few lines of dialogues explaining what's going on, blah blah blah, but there's no I don't think anyone would feel any of those dialogues to be traumatic, but it's worth keeping in mind as I am touching some sensitive subject. But anyway, I will get back to you as soon as possible with Santiago de Soto. And on this note, I will wish you a good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Especially a good night.